My primary swing thought is to not swing too hard, and I think that sounds very simple, but my dad always taught me to swing at a pace you can control. So we did a lot of experimenting. He had me do drills like hit your driver 100 yards, then 150, and then try to hit it 350, and then come back down. So we decided on like 80% of what I thought was full speed. So that's my primary thing is, rhythm and balance and not swinging too hard.
Relax, focus on the target.
Low and slow.
Try to make a good turn.
Staying down through impact.
The original long driver, Davis Love III, turned heads with his wide, willowy and powerful golf swing. The son of a club professional, Davis made an immediate impact on the PGA Tour and parlayed his crazy talent into 21 wins and a PGA Championship. The Hall of Famer's swing is evergreen, and he can still spank it off the tee. Davis Love is 6'3". He has long arms, and if I had to characterize his swing in one word, I would call it wide. But he's got two incredible levers he uses to build on that and create easy speed, and when he came out on tour, he could hit it miles past the competition.
Davis Love III. Man, it's nice to see him out there playing against the world's best.
Really nice tee shot.
Remember him winning the 97 PGA Championship at Wingfoot, lone major victory.
Back in the day when Davis was leading the driving distance category at probably 292, 293 a pop, something like that.
Yeah, if you had it 300, you were superhuman.
First off, I spoke of that wide. Now, I'm going to draw a vertical line from the ball to the sky. Now, so wide is Davis's start that you'll notice the club heads stay outside of that line for the first few feet of the swing. So at address, very comfortable, arms hanging away from him, wait through the balls of the feet, watch the width as he starts back. Club moves away from the golf ball, stays outside of that yellow line and the ball. See how wide that looks? It sets up a beautiful start here. Look how the hips are turning behind him. Look how this left arm is right in front of him. See how the club face is square and outside of his hands. That has set up a massive swing arc. Now as he continues to go to the top, young Davis would have been a little higher than what Davis Love is now, but you can still see the extension in the arms. As we go further to the top, you'll see still a beautiful situation where the club's slightly across the line. The left hand is a beautiful picture and a nod to his club professional PGA pro Davis Love's major watchword, where Davis Love Jr. would say, get your thumb under the shaft for a good top of the backswing. So there's Davis at the top. Notice the hips are fully pivoted. The shoulders are turned. The arms are high. Young Davis used to be higher, but he's 50-something now, but still in great shape. Now let's look at those levers. Davis turns that big wide backswing into power with two moves. As he gets in the transition, watch when he gets his left arm parallel, right there. Can you see how this trailing elbow is tucked? It's not against the body, it's almost behind his body. And can you see how this left arm is almost across the chest? So as he's turned into that left arm. Then secondarily, watch these knees. So now what you're going to see from this delivery spot, these knees are going to pull backward as Davis turns, and this right elbow is going to sling outward. It's a beautiful move that is just a ton of leverage. Watch this in slow motion. You'll see the knees pull back as he turns, that elbow slings out, see how it's straightening, and look there. From bent in the knees to straight in the knees, from bent in the elbow to nearly straight at the elbow, and he is at maximum wingspan right there. Look at these arms, right back, adjacent to each other, right back in front of the body. Look how the hips turned open, almost like you could see two butt cheeks, beautiful pivot. And more than anything else, with his knees pulling backward, he's created the upward leverage to absolutely slingshot this club through the target and around into the free-flowing follow-through. Watch this. Quiet feet. The club is absolutely hurtling through the air as it now continues to the finish. Eyes on the ball, big release, free-flowing follow-through, no holding back. He still whips it off the tee because of the principles, the fundamentals he learned from his legendary golf teaching father, Davis Love Jr.
How about the length and the arc of this swing as he approaches the age of 60, Mark?
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, it used to be where he would get it to the top of the swing when he was in his 20s and then lift it a little higher. Can't do that anymore, but still makes more than a 90-degree shoulder turn.
Back in the days where 295 yards would lead the PGA Tour in driving distance average, Peter, that's where he would find Davis Love's name.
Oh, my gosh. That was a huge tee shot, though, by the way.
This is a moon ball way up in the air.
Should start to chase out a bit here.
Down there with Fred. Bye, Fred. See ya.
Just past the tee shot of Fred Couples.
Excellent tee shot. That's a bold, good swing there by Davis.
At address with a driver, Davis Love screams power. I want to show you a couple things that he does so beautifully well. First off, with that big wide swing, look how he builds himself a big wide base. Those are vertical lines from the insteps of his feet, and can you see the width of the feet is wider than the shoulders? That's going to give him an awesome area to rotate and pivot around. And then before we go, I have to reference this because his father, Davis Love Jr., is a PGA professional. That grip right there is near perfection to me. As a golf instructor, long time so, I've always believed in GASP, G-A-S-P, grip, alignment, stance, and posture. Nail those things down, and you have the foundation for a great golf swing. Davis, he's a Hall of Famer, sets up every golf swing with this beautiful foundation. Now as he moves away from the golf ball, there's no real effort to lift the club up. All Davis does is create this long, wide, languid start to the entire action. He stretched the club head as far from his torso as he possibly can, yet all the while he's turned that trailing hip inside of the instep of the foot. Beautifully centered, rotary, yet extended. Now, while we're on the subject of insteps of feet, imagine from the instep of the left foot, a line straight to the sky, a wall, if you will. And I'm going to show you how Davis uses that to almost hit into that thing. But first, let's complete the backswing. He continues to wind up, continues to stretch the arms all the way to the top, and that is just a picture. Always been one of my favorite swings in the game. Right hip behind him, left heel slightly raised off the ground, all the pressure down in the trail heel of the right foot. Look how far in behind the golf ball Davis is. Every part of his body, except for the ankle of the left leg and the foot, is completely behind this golf ball. He is primed to launch. So now back to that wall. Watch how Davis is going to go and close the gap on the wall with the left knee. So as we transition, the left knee leads, closes the gap, and can you see how he's closed the gap on that wall, accelerated the club past him, but he has not left this trailing foot whatsoever. So it's been a rotary shift of pressure. Now, as that foot stays down, I want you to look and see how that transmits itself to an increase in a slingshot of speed all the way to the club head. So from here, he's not lifting off that foot, but the arms are just getting propelled and slung through. Watch this. We let him go. See the arms go. That right foot's still down. The left foot's planted. The head's still down. But there's that interaction between the grounding of the right side, the stabilizing of the pivot, that just surges energy out to the hands and the club head. And this is why DL3 gets so much club head speed for such a languid, graceful pass. And then from there, he releases up onto the toe of the trail foot, just like one should, perfectly balanced. But that tee shot was laced, and he still does that with high regularity.
He always makes a full bore swing on his practice move.
Well, he can get here in two. He's got the length.
Sounded good.
And Davis Love III's white ball will find a fairway as well.
Hard not to love Davis. I mean, look, he's one of my mentors growing up, one of my favorite players to watch, and just a fantastic human being.
All-time great guy.
I know Davis has gone through his physical ailments too. hip replacement, neck problems, wrist problems. Again, that swing looks good, Mark.
Really does, yeah, great rhythm.
Yeah, under control.
Imagine, as pure as his golf swing is, how can anybody miss anything with it? I'm not sure he can get to the green from here.
Oh,
what a shot. I mean, that was amazing.
Here's Davis Love with an iron, and what you will see with the iron swing is really there's a thread that travels through his entire action from the wedge through the driver, just like most great ball strikers do. But the one thing I would be remiss in talking about is how the wrist alignments work throughout the swing. So focusing on that area down there, I didn't talk about it with the driver, but I'm going to show you how it happens with the iron club as well. So Davis at address, all very standard, stance a little narrower, ball just around the center of the stance, hands slightly in front of the blade. That's never a bad idea if you want to compress an iron shot. Now, as the arms are in front, he just simply winds up, swings the club away, all the way to a beautifully wide, uncontrived backswing. There's a little forward press, swings away, eye line stable, turns around his center, and he's created a big wide arc here. Now you see that angle there. I'll highlight it for you. The angle right there. I want you to watch and pay attention how that angle gets retained for the first few feet of the downswing. Now the angle is created by the lead forearm and the shaft of the club. So Davis commences the downswing by leading with the hips, and watch how this arrangement right here never changes its attitude. So off we go. We're going to pump him down a couple, 3 times. 1, see no changing in angles. 1 more time. Watch that relationship as we get to the top. Beautiful up at the top, nice and wide. Hips lead, eye line stable. There's 2, and he comes down. And that wrist angle has not been given up. Now 1 more time. Watch how this happens. Nothing is changing in the wrists and the forearms in relation to the club face. So the hips lead, the eye line stable. See that coming down? And then he unloads all the way to contact. Watch how he unloads that angle from where he was in the downswing. So taking him back to that angle, halfway down, you will see this angle between wrist and forearm. Watch how that straightens. The eye line is stable, the hips move. Can you see how that's straightening into what is a straight line? That is just incredible stuff. All of this happens in the blink of an eye, but it's all a function of lots of practice and understanding mechanics. There's the wrist angle. Watch how it goes into straight. Perfectly squared up, another beautiful iron strike. Now, another Hall of Famer, the great Nick Faldo, once said to me, he goes, under pressure, for a good strike, I always try to see my divot. So here's Davis at contact. Now, as he allows the club to pass him by into the follow-through, watch how the eye line just stays down. No need to pop up, no need to post up. From there now, there's enough leverage and thrust into the golf club that as it continues around, it's going to pull his eye line up. So as he goes to the finish of his golf swing now, watch how his head will get pulled up by the velocity of the arms, the release of the club, and in the end, there he is. Davis Love, tall, proud, eyes have found the golf ball, and I promise you, that approach shot is traveling right at the heart of the green.
Here comes Davis. Yeah, there's that little set that we talked about, Mark. I think he doesn't want his arms to come in too far on the backswing, so he's getting that club head moving first. 21 wins on the PGA Tour in his career.
Shot there from Davis.
Back here at TPC Sawgrass, which he affectionately refers to as home. It's been that kind of venue for him through the years.
He definitely was a phenomenal talent and still is, but really played well in the southeast part of the United States.
I almost think his swing has gotten better over the years.
Since he's finally gotten past those injuries, it's gotten back to where it should be. He's freed up, he's moving well.
205 yards back into the wind. Takes a solid strike just to flight it perfectly. He got a little members kick off the ridge there, back down the hill. I wouldn't advise playing it that way, but it worked out.